Ashley and I's first date, pranking my roommates with snakes, to Taekwondo, to building a mini ramp in the apartment, to our Times Square billboard, and to so many more. I love your mom's house. I love all the memories I made. It was just such an amazing experience, and I'm even more excited about the future. And genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support you've shown me and my roommates and everyone involved with your mom's house. It's been incredible, and this is not the end. There's a lot more Do What Excites to do, and trust me, this is just the beginning.
I don't really wanna call you back. I really wanna call you back. I wanna call you, wanna call you back.
Wrath of the Lich King is such a big deal. We're gonna watch this. You haven't watched Nick's
If you've been on YouTube or the greater internet lately, you probably have stumbled on some sort of promotional material for Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah,
whether
a lot
it's
of
a
ads
Facebook
for it.
ad from Blizzard, a Platinum WoW video talking about lore, or the bald-headed attic goblin going on rants about why Wrath is so good. This game is all over the place.
Guys, it was very, very good. Let me tell you something. Back in the day, it was the best. Yeah, it was a great fucking time, man.
Doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon.
No,
but what is Wrath of the Lich King, and why is it such a big deal, you might be wondering? Maybe you've never played World of Warcraft before, so you're curious. Or maybe you have played WoW, but you're unfamiliar with this expansion and time period in WoW. Why is Wrath of the Lich King such a big deal? We need to go back to the past. All the way back to important thing that was introduced to the world in Warcraft 3 was the character of Arthas Menethil.
It's actually crazy to think about how good the graphics were for 2002. This was fucking insane. Like, these graphics, like, obviously, like, now, like, there have been some companies with quality, but back then, they were just completely This was literally 20 years ago.
Now, Arthas was a paladin of the story of Warcraft 3. Players followed his soul to an evil magic sword called Frostmourne, and then he proceeds to turn on the very people that he was once trying to protect. He even murders his own father. All this is.
I want to say again, just, you know, since we're on the topic, Arthas did nothing wrong. Everything that Arthas did up until picking up Frostmourne was totally in the right. Every decision, everything he did, totally fucking good. And on top of that, after he picked up Frostmourne, by the sword. Everything after that was bad, it was not his fault.
A guy who commands legions of undead warriors dedicated to purging all life from Azeroth, and our this Night Elf Demon Hunter, who is Malfurion, and he soon ascends the frozen throne in Northrend to unite himself with the Lich King, becoming one with him and the new master over the Scourge. And that is how Warcraft 3 ends. Arthas seated atop a frozen spire, falling into a hibernation, waiting for his time to rise again to lead the Scourge in an effort to purge all life from the world. Warcraft 3 was an absolute massive success for Blizzard Entertainment, bringing the company huge amounts of revenue, as well as credibility for being an A-level developer of games. And Arthas Menethil, who had been the primary character in Warcraft 3, quickly became one of gaming's most iconic villains.
My dad knows who the Lich King is. Like, that's how big of a deal the Lich King was. He doesn't know any other character in all of WoW, probably, but if he sees Lich King, that's it. He knows everything. character, him and Thrall.
Cliffhanger though with the new Lich King, and so everybody was waiting on the edge of their seat, wondering what's gonna happen next. But instead of making a Warcraft 4 another strategy game and continuing the story of Arthas, Blizzard decided to make a controversial decision. See, instead, they were gonna focus on creating an MMORPG now, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, which they were gonna call World of Warcraft. Warcraft games had established put the world by storm. After
WoW as a game was way Give me a minute. Every time I say something, people always have to fucking act like it's not real. Give me a second. This is so annoying, guys. It's so annoying that anybody would even think that I could ever get anything. How could you even think this? Let's see. And look at US. United States. No, I guess actually worldwide was better. That's players, not creators. Oh no, I think there are definitely, by the way, I definitely think that there are more players in Fortnite and Minecraft than there are in because the other two games are a lot easier to get into. Yeah, interest over time. Let me see. Categories, I don't know. Last time I looked at it, it showed WoW way higher. I'm actually kind of confused because like before it showed WoW like much higher. I wonder what the difference is. Yeah, because I remember looking this up and I saw it was way bigger. Maybe it was some other different type of like chart, or I was looking at some other angle. Anyway, well, WoW was fucking huge, right? That's all I'm really saying.
In 2004, World of Warcraft
I wasn't
quickly
wrong. I wasn't
became the
wrong
biggest MMO
whenever I looked at it first
market, surpassing all of its competitors like EverQuest, Star Wars Galaxies, or even free online games like RuneScape. Players loved the open world element to the game, the classes, the races, the lore, and the storytelling that Blizzard had crafted for them. It was a new age in gaming, certainly. Even South Park picked up on it and made a whole parody episode of the game. And
I watched that with my dad. It was a good fucking day.
As World of Warcraft's popularity grew, so too did Blizzard's desire to create an expansion continuing the story of the game. But did Blizzard start World of Warcraft with a focus on Arthas Menethil, Warcraft 3's signature character? Or did they choose to make him the focus of World of Warcraft's first expansion? Nope.
Well, he was like, the thing is, Arthas was there though. Do you see what I'm saying? Arthas was there because you had the Lich King. You had, you know, the Eastern Plaguelands, you had Strat, you had Naxxramas. So it's like the Lich King was a looming threat in WoW, even in vanilla. But he was just there, and that was it.
Blizzard decided that they were going to make us wait. Those of us who had played Warcraft 3 and desired heavily to go to Northrend. We wanted to wade through those snowy forests, visit the ice-capped mountains in the north, and see the Frozen Throne ourselves. But we had to wait. We had to wait until the end of classic World of Warcraft, as well as the game's first expansion, The Burning Crusade. But then, in 2004, at BlizzCon, it happened. Blizzard Entertainment revealed that the next expansion for World of Warcraft was going to be called Wrath of the Lich King, which would continue the story of Arthas Menethil where it was left off in Warcraft 3.
We also have to keep in mind, like, Illidan lost to Arthas, so, like, it would make a lot of sense that you would go from Illidan to Arthas. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Lich King had now awakened, his undead hordes were ravaging across Azeroth, And now it would fall to us, the heroes of the Horde and the Alliance, to defeat him in his own Northland domain. Blizzard was excited, the players were excited. World of Warcraft was now boasting a population of over 12 million active players. It was time.
Oh, it was massive.
It was time to conclude what began all those years ago in 2002 and put an end to the tyranny of the Lich King. So how did it go, you might be wondering? Well, to be honest, Wrath of the Lich King was a mixed bag in terms of a WoW expansion for those of us that played it. Despite it being considered the best World of Warcraft expansion ever made, and arguably so, there were some things about this expansion that did leave people upset. For one thing, for a lot of people, this was going to be their last WoW expansion. They had specifically chosen to play this game solely for the fact that they wanted to kill the Lich King.
Exactly, yes. I think that's 100% true. It's like the Lich King was like he was the last boss. Like, the Lich King tied up pretty much all of the loose ends besides the Burning Legion in WoW. That was it. It was the trilogy, and this was the last boss of the game.
They would. So Wrath had a bit of a bittersweet feeling to it, like you were playing the final days of the game in its prime, which ultimately ended up to be true.
I don't remember anybody thinking that. Like, I remember after the Lich King came out, everybody was wondering, like, what the fuck is gonna happen next? Like, what are we gonna fight now? And people were like, are we gonna fight Sargeras? Is it gonna be like Deathwing? Or like some other random fucking boss or something like that? Yeah, I mean, the Lord of Cataclysm Spectator, I was kind of excited. I was very excited about Deathwing. Yeah, I thought Deathwing was awesome. But I do think that Arthas and like the Lich King, in the mind of like average players, yeah, that's the last boss.
Also had, of course, some gameplay and story issues going on with it. Wrath introduced a lot of tank and spank gameplay to the game and its dungeons. The raids at release were pathetically easy. Wintergrasp lagged. The Trial of the Crusader tournament was kind of odd from a story perspective. And even things like looking for group appeared at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, which is...
I would also say that Wrath of the Lich King raids are substantially harder than Burning Crusade raids. Like, outside of Nax Ramus, I think people, whenever they say Wrath raids are easy, what they're talking about is 10-man Nax with a 30% buff, and 10-man ICC with the 30% buff, and Nax Ramus. Because Ulduar hard modes are infinitely harder than anything that was in PvC. And so are PvP hard modes. And I would say almost they require more than any of those. It's not even close.
Been a highly controversial Regardless of opinions, though, Wrath of the Lich King went down as World of Warcraft's best expansion, and the game has never seen any success like it since.
That's actually not true. Went all the way up to 10 million again. If you remember that, like, it was fucking massive. The amount of people that came back for Warlords of Draenor. It just didn't retain any people. Wrath was 12. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, like, yeah, Wrath was 12, WoD was only 10. But I feel like WoD absolutely did recapture that flame of a lot of people because, like, people felt like, metaphorically, you were going back to Burning Crusade. Because you were going back to Draenor. Draenor was the Outland, and so it's like, oh, all the old war chiefs. Like, the idea that people had, like, I think WoD probably had, like, the highest ceiling for the potential to be a good expansion. I think it had a higher ceiling than BFA or Legion did for how cool it could have been.
After Wrath ended, we saw tons of players leaving the game over time, not being interested so much in Wrath's sequel, Cataclysm, and we also saw the quality of the game begin to drop progressively over the years, until we've reached a point today where the modern game is almost unrecognizable. As it changed, we saw a large group of people start to demand